Coffee happen. Coffee, if you're not aware, is not grown here in Rockford. If you want to know an interesting thing about coffee, you should research that online. How do coffee beans get harvested and then roasted and then crushed and ground into your bean coffee thing, filter? Well, hot water pours through it and then you drink it. It sounds so simple when we say it like that. There's probably a YouTube video. Stillman Bank would like to let you know that if you're interested in knowing how coffee works, go to YouTube. Well, I do have another announcement. He told me, does everybody know Rob Davis? Rob runs our tech in the back, and maybe you've talked to him at some point in time. He told me this morning, he sent me this lengthy message, and he said, whatever you do, don't tell anybody what's going on. So we're going to tell you what's going on. Rob Davis, if you could put up his picture. Rob Davis wanted to be here, but it's not as bad as it looks. Or is it? Rob's passing kidney stone this morning. So, you're in a better place here at 1 Million Cups, right? All right. Well, Rob did ask us to show you the picture and say hello to you. So, hi, Rob. he's a jokester, and yes, he wanted to be here, but he's not. Next on the list is events. Events. Are there any events? That's Gary. Gary's going to be presenting with us in just a minute. Events that you know about coming up in the Rockford area. We're going to hand you the catch box. You're going to speak clearly into that catch box. It goes something like this, so that we can all hear you. And then you have to throw it to the next person. Then the rules are you have to catch it and speak. First up, Stillman Bank. Nathan Bolin.
Okay, just want to mention that on February 6th, from 5:30 to 9 o'clock, the State Line Chamber of Commerce is having our annual awards gala. Music, food. You can go to statelinechamber.com to get tickets or sponsor if anyone wants to sponsor. Sponsorships are still available. The fun time had by all that night.
Fun time guaranteed to have by all. Other events that you know about coming up in the Rockford area for, let's say, business-related things, it's your opportunity to grab the catch box. Anybody? Anyone know of anything? I know of something. The G-Beta Beloit cohort. G-Beta is an accelerated program out of Beloit. It's housed at Iron Tech and run by an organization called Generator, which has locations across the Midwest. The G-Beta Beloit cohort, the presentations for this round are, I think, February 4th.
Yes, I believe so.
I believe they're February 4th. If you want information about that, search for G-Beta Beloit on Google or Bing or DuckDuckGo. All right. The next, thank you. One person laughed. Oh, boy. The next event we want to get out in front of you is February 27th, WOTM, which is the Women of Today's Manufacturing group in this area, has a scholarship fundraiser. If you want to get into manufacturing and you are a woman or not a woman, you can join up with WOTM. You can submit your information to get one of those scholarships. They give away a couple $1,000s a year towards women pursuing futures in manufacturing, which I think is cool. I've got a daughter. She's a little manufacturer of things, and I think it would be neat if she would continue on in that. Well, this morning we have gadgets and gizmos up here on stage, which is super exciting. We have very little tech stuff that we're going to show you, but we've got a lot of hands-on cool stuff. Gary Christ, originally I think from California, right? No? Where? Okay, raised in Crystal Lake. You went to California and you were talking about the fires that happened in California some time ago. Yes. And out of that came this idea, this concept to help fight fires in a better way with helicopters, which is super cool, I think. I've had the opportunity to see some of his videos and things that he's been working on, and I've got the full explanation of what this thing does. You're going to be super intrigued by this, I think. So, would you, without further ado, welcome Gary Christ to 1 Million Cups.
Thank you, Jason. Ladies and gentlemen, I ask you, what's more important than saving someone's life? Saving lives is what motivates me as a 30-plus year inventor to develop and patent ideas that will prevent human tragedy. For instance, 2 years ago, my brother's house in Santa Barbara, California was threatened by fire, and they had to evacuate. I'd watch on TV as helicopters would bring bags of water and try to dump it near the fire. And as an old farmer and a contractor, I thought, boy, that doesn't look very efficient. So I invented the fire cannon. The fire cannon is basically a huge fire extinguisher that has some patent-pending attachments that allow it to be carried by a helicopter. Now, the advantage of having a pressurized system over the bag system that they use, or the tanker system that just drops it by gravity, is that so much of that water is evaporated or blown away before it gets to the fire. Now, I'm a taxpayer, and I see these helicopters zipping around, dumping their water, and I thought, what can we do to make the water more efficiently used? And what can we do to make the water be more efficiently brought to the fire zone, instead of having a helicopter have to go back and forth to a water source? Why can't we bring the water near the fire zone in pre-filled canisters? The helicopters pick it up, disperse it, not just dump it, but spray it out. I've talked to fire chiefs, I've talked to fire departments. They think it's a great idea. What I'm looking for is some investor that might help me bring this to the next level. I have prototypes, I have video, I have a patent pending, and I have more exciting things to talk about, how this can be applied in Australia. Because the terrain in California is much different than Australia. And that's why I have different versions of the fire cannon. The aerial one, the ground-based one, and the rover. And this is, I have a patent issued last February on a steering system on here that will, I believe, transform the robotic industry. So if you would like to show the video, Jason, and, oh, it's right here. Okay, this is the current method used today. It's called a Bambi bucket. Now, number one, you have to find a water source to dump the water in, or to dump the bucket in to extract the water. Now, that can be quite a distance from where the fire is. And then this has to be carried, which has its own problems. It's not very aerodynamic. And here you can see when it's empty, as it's empty, the water is just, the thermals are evaporating it before it really gets to the fire zone. So then they have to go get some more water. The helicopter companies, I sure love this, because it takes a lot of time. But firemen are more interested in putting the fire out. Like I said, what's more important than saving someone's life? Let's get out there quicker. Let's bring a truckload of these out there, just a couple miles from the fire zone. With a couple of helicopters, we can get more water on the fire more efficiently than we can by just dumping it on. And that's basically what this is. It's just a large fire extinguisher on steroids, I guess you could say. They have auxiliary air tanks, that's what these are. And again, the ability to force this stream like a flying fire, I call it a flying fire truck. That's basically what it is. You now have the ability to shoot as much as 2,000 gallons a minute, right into a building, right to the base of a fire, or in Greece where they had so many traffic fatalities where the cars were lined up and they couldn't get away and the cars are igniting. It was the most horrible scene. Now, if you had a helicopter that could spray a nice spray over that whole area where the cars would be, you could save lives. And again, that's what this is all about. Okay, this is the video we had made up. I don't have a helicopter. We just use the forklift. But this would basically be this is the earlier prototype that just shot straight down. And the idea is just to have, okay, this contains the water, this contains the air, this is the home-based system. So if you had these around your house and you had to evacuate, well, now you have a defense system that when a certain amount of temperature reaches the thermal sensor, it would shoot the water directly at the fire. Or if there's something that catches your house on fire, a spark, well, they could have a turret on top that would spray it on top. So these are the developments I've been working on. They're really simple. Just basically scale up a fire extinguisher, put on some high-tech things such as thermal sensors, robotic arms, attach them to helicopters, whatever you need to do to make most efficient use of that water and make most efficient use of the helicopter time. So I started this presentation asking you what's more important than saving someone's life. And for me, the answer is real simple. It's saving a lot of people's lives. And I know that we have the manufacturing capability right here in Rockford to do this. I was a participant in the fast pitch contest last October, and I didn't get to the finals. And I asked the judge, I said, hey, this is a life-saving device, how come I didn't get in there? He says, Gary, you didn't give us enough numbers and statistics. Okay, the numbers are this. In this most basic form, these are cheaper than the Bambi buckets that they're using right now. They're more efficient, and the worldwide application is so vast, I don't want to start putting numbers together out of thin air. All I know is that we have the workforce, we have the manufacturing capability, we have a nice regional area to distribute these, and I would like to see Rockford be the birthplace of the fire cannon. And if you have any questions, or you'd like me to...
Let's give him a hand for his presentation.
Oh, thank you.
Here's how we do questions and answers here. We're going to have several minutes for you to answer questions or to ask them questions even. So if you have questions for Gary or if he's got questions for you, this is your time to give him feedback also on his presentation so we can help make this place better for all of us. You do have to use the catch box though. So when you call out somebody, make sure that they throw the catch box to somebody. Here we go, in the back.
Nice job, Gary. It's a great invention. Is water the only medium that it'll spray, or is there more effective solutions that you can incorporate on that?
I'm glad you asked that, because when I was at the fast pitch contest, there was a man that developed a far greater fire suppressant than water, and it's safer than the foam. And we've been in contact. He says, well, once I get this license, we can work together. But if you were to apply that fire suppressant in with the rover, where it could go into a brush area and put a path where the fire won't penetrate that area, what a great thing. Or if you could apply, let's say, excuse my poor models here, but if this was on fire, you could spray a retardant, a fire suppressant on here that would retain its fire suppression capability for several hours. So, yeah, there's a lot of things you could add to the water. I do use water just to keep it simple. But that's a great question. Thank you.
Hi, how are you? Great presentation.
Thank you.
He actually asked my question, and you asked it better than I would have. So I noticed when you had it on the Ford truck, it was a little unsteady, and you said you have some patent pending technology that would allow a helicopter to transport this system to the fire. How do you hold that steady when it's flying on the helicopter so that you can hit a precise location?
Well, it's a great question. I only show... One of the problems they have with helicopter picking up the carriers for people is sometimes they start spinning around. That's a big problem. And there has been a recent development that has a system that keeps the load from spinning. We could apply that to it, or you could also have 2 tethers that would keep this in line. The stability factor is something that would need to be developed by people that have more experience than me as far as that. But I do know the components are out there. Another good question, thank you. I get to throw that to somebody, or any other questions? Oh, okay, there you go.
Hi,
Hello.
I enjoy being here.
Okay, you're from California, right? Okay. Anyone else? Well, then my question to you is, I am looking for an angel investor. I do know the State Line Angels. They have a website, and I tried to contact them through the emails, but their email box is full, so I didn't get anywhere with that. I am working with Small Business Development Center here in Rockford. We haven't quite got to the point where I can give a real nice video presentation with the business plan. We do have I'd say it's about 90% done, the business plan, the growth wheel. I would like to have someone help with the development on this. If you have some capabilities to use air tanks, that's basically what this is just 3 air tanks, water and 2 air. Some of these things are just laying around at factories. They're not really being used. If you know of anybody that has some resources to build a prototype, so we don't have to buy new things, because prototypes basically end up in the scrapyard eventually. But if we can, start out small with just some leftover pieces of air equipment. I have a huge manifold I put on here that can put out, again, a large stream of water or a fine mist for different applications. And these are the things you don't get. Those are the options that are not available when you just dump the water with the bag or the tanker system that they use today. So I'm excited about it. I've got flexibility, I can travel, and I will be a spokesman, but I was going to bring my bib overalls because I'd rather be in my bib overalls working on this stuff in my shop, be honest. But I'll do either, whatever it takes, because like I said, what's more important than saving someone's life?
I got a question for you. Who's on your team?
Good
Is it just you?
question.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Jason. I do have a very talented web designer who's done videos basically on this. I didn't talk about this very much. This is an exciting machine right here.
What is that?
This is made to get rid of landmines in Cambodia. That's what got me the idea. I go to
So one thing
Cambodia
we
quite
haven't
a
heard
bit.
about you is that you're actually a serial inventor.
Yes.
Yeah. So this isn't the only invention Gary's been up to. Tell us about that concept you get there.
I got invited to Cambodia in 2001, and my first experience there was disabled people maimed by landmines, beggars. And it broke my heart, but what can you do? So I started working with an organization that helps the people in that situation, and I said, if we can make a machine to get rid of the landmines, we solve 2 problems. We get rid of the mines, and we provide jobs for these people. So I've been working on that for some time, and I'm very thankful I got a patent on that machine last February. And the patent is on the steering device, which can be applied to all different kinds of off-road robots. And so that machine is basically a very simple rover, all made with a computer-assisted cutting system, all assembled just like a big erector set. Simple, because the steering system is so simple. It basically picks the machine up and rotates it whatever degree of turn you want. So you don't need to have a complicated steering system, or you don't need all that energy it takes to turn fighting gravity, because it picks up and then it rotates it above the ground. So that alone in itself is a big energy saving device. And in a fire zone, being that this is like a very fire resistant vehicle, I'm excited about that. Put a big tank on here, and I do have video. I'm not showing everybody, not showing you all what I have. Keeping a little bit to my chest pocket.
Of course.
But-
Cool. So who's on your team helping you develop
thank you.
these things? No, I think that was good. I love to learn about the various things you got going on.
Sure.
You said you got a web developer.
Yes.
Who else is on your team helping with engineering or concepting of this?
Yeah, her name is Mei Li, Chinese American, who has been in our Toastmasters club. I always have to give a pitch for Toastmasters. They are the most wonderful people. In fact, my patent attornei, I met him through Toastmasters. I give him my speeches about Cambodia, and he says, if I can help you. So he helped me get the patent. Mei Li is another distinguished Toastmaster, which is the highest level of Toastmaster achievement you can get. And she's retired now, so she said she'll help me in any which way I can. We got the SBDC. We have the patent. I got that sitting over here. It's kind of cool looking. We have the video. As far as the team, we're building it. And I think that when I share my passion, hopefully it will draw people to the basic cause of humanitarian.
Yeah. So I think
Positivity.
one of the important questions that we have for you is how can we as a community help you?
Spread the word that there's an inventor that wants to make the world a better place. We asked with my first invention was in 1990. In fact, the Rockford Register Star came out and did a very nice full-page expose on the low-cost housing technique that I had that basically was saving people's lives. Again, when I see the homeless veterans in my area of Crystal Lake on the streets, when the PADS program would shut down, it broke my heart. What can I say? I'm a very blessed guy. I said, well, maybe we can build something that will be suitable for their immediate needs. And I saw all these old tires, and I thought, if we could convert those tires into building blocks, we could build houses. And we did. I got a patent on that. We used the tires in a vertical setting, in a framework, modular components. When you put the siding on, you'll never know they're made out of tires, but they're super insulative. It's just that the county where I was living in didn't think they were such a great idea. And I can understand why. But that's my heart. It goes back over 30 years now. Yeah. Try to develop things that will help other people.
Awesome. So we can help you by getting the word out, and then it seems to me that you have some hurdles here in bringing your prototyping to refining that and then bringing that to some sort of production, which includes some sort of funding, but it also includes, I think, some engineering expertise and some market analysis and identifying how would you sell this, who's going to buy it, how much they can buy it for, how much can you manufacture it for, where you're going to get components, all those things, right? It seems that all that is support you need help with?
Well, it's funny because I normally should start a speech out with something kind of funny. And the funny part is this. Just before I got my first patent, my patent attorney says, Gary, I'd like you to go meet another inventor. And he invented a very simple device, was a magnifying glass with the tweezers on it. So I went to go visit him. And now this is before Back to the Future, but if you remember the professor with the white hair and the lab coat.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The DeLorean and
yeah. He looks just like him. He comes out to me and he speaks 11 words to me, Jason. He says, inventing. It takes everything you've got, and that's just the beginning. And then he just walked out of the room. It was kind of eerie, but he was right. It takes everything you got, and that's just the beginning. So where am I at?
That's a good beep, period. That's a good ending. Inventing, it takes everything you got, and that's just the beginning.
I just met with University of Wisconsin, and they're considering using this as a class project for their marketing and research. So thanks for asking. If I have them on my team, that'll be great.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool. Well, let's give Gary a hand for his presentation. It takes a lot of guts to get up here and display to you all and our live stream viewers what he's working on. If you have something that you've been working on, you are also welcome to register to present to 1 Million Cups. And if you have any connections for Gary, or Gary's got any questions that he's got for you, now's your opportunity right after this. But thank you, again, first to Stillman Bank for sponsoring the coffee this morning. Let's give them another round of applause. And again, this is your opportunity to get connected. If you're inventing something, invention, right? That's just the beginning.
Invention. Inventing, it takes everything you've got, and that's just the beginning. That
All
is
right.
true. Oh,
All right. We'll get connected. Yes, did you have something
One
else to
more
say?
little
Okay,
thing.
all right.
when I was young, I was told 2 lies.
Just 2?
The 2 that I'll talk about.
2, okay.
My brothers would say, boy, the trees are really making the wind blow today. And they would take a branch and put it in my face and go, yeah, wow, the trees are making the wind blow. I thought about that for a while. But the one that really got me is this. Invent a better mousetrap and the world will beat a path to your door. Does not work that way. You can invent the best
true.
mousetrap,
Yep.
but until you get the marketing, the research, the publicity, it's just going to be something in your backyard.
That's true. Good advice. Now's your opportunity to get connected to one another. Have a wonderful, somewhat wet and cold Wednesday.